Preparation for the operation involves checks of all machinery and equipment to be used and loading and stowage of equipment required for the anchor handling operation. Radio communications between the deck and the bridge must be maintained during the loading operations, which is monitored and controlled from the bridge.
Okay, Dave.
Do I need to open up the spooling gear yet?
No, not yet. Just heave over it.
Heaving away.
Come to port a touch. Hold it. That's you right to the engine room. Touch. Hold on.
A rig move meeting is held with the ship's crew, during which the anchor handling operation is explained and discussed. A deck working plan is prepared and includes which winches, gypsies and chain lockers are to be used, and any other special operations which may be required, such as the connection of subsurface buoys, cutting of chain links and the spooling on of pennant wires. Everyone involved in the operation must be familiar with the plan and the tasks they'll be required to carry out, and the potential hazards of the operation and precautions to be taken. Safety of personnel and the ship is discussed and is an essential part of the rig move meeting.
Yeah, Billy, when we passed up the pennants and the two anchors and the shackles, we're going to pass up the square surface buoy on the port side.
Square surface buoy on the port side.
Port grounding, soldier, guys.
Yeah, go over the cargo first, Captain. I want to see how the crane behaves first before I bring them up.
Excellent. So we'll start with the 100-metre pennants there right aft on my port side, just in border of that rail crane there. Yeah, salt our deck. Billy, we're going to go for the deck cargo first. The first lifts up will be the 4B 100-metre wire pennants on the port side up.
Yeah, the port pennants, the port side out. Yeah, got that too.
Before starting anchor handling operations, the deck needs to be prepared and equipment and communications tested between the deck and the bridge. It may be necessary for some equipment to be transferred to the rig, which may be during darkness if this phase of the operation necessitates the work to be carried out at night. When working on deck during anchor handling, mandatory personal protective equipment must be worn. Extreme caution must be taken at all times when working on deck, particularly when working near the open stern. The deck crew must always be aware of hazards from moving machinery and equipment, wire ropes under tension, tripping hazards, water on deck, etc., and use safe areas during certain parts of the anchor handling operation. When taking the pennant wire from the rig, the pennant should be secured on deck in the shark's jaws before the crane hook is released. The tugger wire is connected to the pennant, and the tugger used to ensure the pennant wire drops fully into the shark's jaws. The locking pin should be inserted to ensure the pennant is retained in the shark's jaws. A shackle is used to connect the work wire to the pennant. After the work wire is connected, the deck crew confirm with the bridge and seek permission to remove the locking pin from the shark's jaws. Once the locking pin is removed, the deck crew move to a safe position clear of the working area. The shark's jaws are lowered and the operation of winching the anchor on board commences. When decking anchors, the winch driver has to take care when the anchor is at the roller, because the anchor needs to rotate so that it comes on deck on its back. If the anchor is required to be disconnected, it should be moved against the barrier and secured. The operation may require that chain is recovered to the ship's chain lockers. The chain is connected to the work wire, and chain is heaved in until enough chain is on board to be able to put onto the chain gypsy and into the chain locker.
It's about there on. Yeah, it's not come off onto there. All the way. I'll just get it.
Is it well secured?
I'll let you know when we're ready to start gulping in chain, but it'll be a little while. We just want to stand by there.
Okay, so 7 thunder. The length of chain to recover will be outlined in the rig move procedures, and the rig will often mark the chain where it needs to be cut.
If the chain is not marked, then the winch counters will be used. When anchor cables are to be run over subsea structures and/or pipelines, it is common practice to insert a length of wire or fibre rope into the rig anchor chain system. The wire insert loaded onto the ship's winch in port is connected to the anchor chain and paid out until the length for the position of the first subsurface buoy is to be connected. The winch operator will stop the winch and allow the deck crew to connect the wire clamps and the buoys. The buoys are then deployed. Buoys are used to support the anchor cable when running anchor cables over subsea structures and pipelines. The towing pins are raised, closed and locked off. The towing pins are raised, closed and locked off. When the wire insert has been deployed, the anchor chain is reconnected and deployed. The locking or safety pin is removed and the shark's jaws lowered. The anchor is then reconnected after all the chain is out. When the anchor is connected, the ship's crew need to spool a pennant wire onto the winch to enable a buoy to be attached to the anchor. If one is available, a turntable should be used to spool the wire onto the work drum to avoid any damage to the wire when being pulled from the coil. Before lowering the anchor, the deck crew should clear the area during this phase of the operation.